But above all, let's make America godly again. Just godly. Let's remember that we are one nation under God. And if we truly are one nation under God, here's what MAGA should really ultimately mean. And I know I'm going to trigger a bunch of pro-choicers, but here's what I want MAGA to mean. Make abortion go away. Welcome to the Father Leo Show, where I am dishing out faith, culture, and commentary. And in this episode, we're going to discuss what MAGA means to me as a Catholic priest, as a person who loves this country in which I am a proud citizen, the United States of America. If I were to walk out in the street with a MAGA hat, I would receive such great discipline, scrutiny, accusations. It's amazing. But I know some people who can walk around, priests even, with a BLM sign, and somehow they don't get punished. So we're going to talk about what MAGA can mean for a Catholic, especially as we prepare for what some people are handling as a celebration or an anniversary of the worst day of their life, even worse than September the 11th, January 6th, with a whole debunking from the January 6th committee, realizing that perhaps it was more than anything a stupid day, an evil day, but it necessarily wasn't an insurrection. And I think the proof is in the pudding. But before we jump into it, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Help us by your engagement to overcome the algorithms that want to suppress Catholic voices, especially about things that people are talking about, including January 6th and what MAGA means. And also, please make sure you can support us on patreon.com/The Father Leo Show, because without you, we can't continue to do this work in giving Catholic perspective. But it also opens you up to a catalog of great content and special perks. So let's just jump right into it now with what MAGA means to me. Now, I know I'm taking a great risk because people aren't going to watch the full episode. So just going to say it right out there. I know they're not going to watch this full episode, and so they're going to make judgments based on either a thumbnail or what I say and try to take it out of context and try to label me as a MAGA or a Magite. I think that's what the derogatory term is, or a Trumper. All of that is just kind of silly. But it really does prove that Mr. Trump is amazing when it comes to brands. Just the things that come out of this man's mouth. I mean, he's successful, even though everyone wants to talk about his failures in business and relationships. But at the same time, he's had great success. It's undeniable. And I think one of his talents, for lack of a better term, is branding. Branding. I mean, if I were just simply, again, to wear a MAGA hat, it would brand me and it would associate me in the same way it should brand someone who wears a crucifix. That crucifix is a brand, but it's not as strong, sadly, as a MAGA hat. Why? Because it doesn't evoke the same sentiment necessarily. And so when we look at this brand that we external, like I wear this collar, it's a brand. It shows that I am a priest, but somehow it doesn't make as much of an impact, especially knowing that there are a lot of Protestants who wear the collar, or you might even see a lot of females who are considered clergy for their congregation. They wear it, and it's got a different effect. Let's just admit that MAGA hat means something. I remember the confrontation between Mr. Phillips, who was a Native American and apparently a veteran for the United States military service, and Nick Sandman. Do you remember him? He was that teenager who received death threats simply because he was standing still and smiling. And I remember even how many Catholics came out against him. In fact, his Catholic school punished him. Several years later, guess what? And by the way, that happened at a pro-life march, at the Right to Life March. Years later, Nick Sandman is a millionaire. He has been justified. He has been, in a sense, rewarded for being able to represent his Catholic identity, his upbringing as a good young man, as a gentleman, and obviously as a MAGA supporter. He wore that hat. Now, his MAGA support had nothing to do with his Catholic faith. You can actually be Catholic and identify with one or the other party. That is certainly very possible. But when we take a look at that hat, let's just admit that it just makes people crazy. And I don't understand it. It's almost like a sacramental, the way sacramentals scare demons away. Like if I were to sprinkle a possessed person with holy water or touch a possessed person with a crucifix, it would leave a mark on them and it would give them such a visceral reaction. In a way, I'm not saying that the hat is a sacramental, but it has the force to evoke visceral reactions, and it is shocking. The amount of videos of someone just as a social media experiment putting on a hat and going to New York City and getting all these dirty looks and even violent attacks and threats, it's amazing. But now as a Catholic priest, what am I to make of this? Well, kind of frankly, I don't care. You could wear whatever you want. Let's just try to be respectful. I remember seeing incredibly disrespectful verbiage on shirts against Mr. Trump. And yeah, some against Mr. Biden. But the ones against Trump were very celebrated. They were hailed. People kind of pretended like they were the cool kids just because they were wearing something that was anti-Trump. But when we look at MAGA, all it's saying is make America great again. I mean, in my talks, I joke around and I say, make vegetables great again. Make family dinners great again. I'll even say things like this, that the Catholic Church is the force that can truly help make America great. And then I'll pause and I'll say, again. And everyone chuckles and laughs. And some people who might not like MAGA, you could see them bristle with frustration simply because I said, make something great again. I mean, you cannot overlook how crazy people have become with this. So as a priest, here's what I want to do. I want to suggest that MAGA can mean other things. It really can. And yeah, go ahead, put on a t-shirt. I'm going to throw it out there. If there's anyone in the Trump campaign who likes this, please reach out. I would love to get credit, or at least get the permission, give you permission to use these ideas. But I'd love to create a t-shirt or even a hat that says MAGA, but put it kind of like M-A-G-A, not M-A-G-A. Like put it, vertically. And it will say, make America, and here's what I think it should say. Make America good again. Just good. You know, I know we want to be great, but the only way that you can be great is if you become what Jesus calls great. Servants. And if you're a servant, you make things good. So I think we just have to return to what is good, because good is the combination of beauty and truth. We need to seek the good again. Another thing, make America generous again. And why is this key? Because I think our world is becoming quite cheap these days. I'm grateful for people who are generous. And I'm going to kind of give a shout out to some really generous people who make this show possible. So our executive producers are John and Carrie Lozinski, Adriana Frazier, Brian Africano, Rosanna Chandler, Carmen Robles, Patrice Pikulski, Carrie Rooney. You all are such generous people, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. Truly generous and good, amazing people. But I think America is made up of a lot of generous people. In fact, we are the most generous country in the world. And so I just want to remind people that the word generous is rooted in generations. But when I say generous, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about talents and time, and also generous in being able to give life to people. So women, please be generous and bring life into this world. It does take you giving of yourself to bring life into this world. Fathers, be generous and make sure that you're not just simply earning money for your family, but you're giving and committing your time, spending your life for your wife, for the mother of your child, and obviously for your children. So let's make America good again. Let's make America generous again. Let's make America gentle again. I think groups like Antifa and BLM, they need to return to civility and gentlemen and gentlewomen qualities. Gentle. It means you handle things with care. And let's just admit, when I saw the riots of January the 6th, I remember seeing live video. I can't find it anymore. My team and I, we looked for it. We can't find it. Of Antifa putting on patriot clothing, like American t-shirts, a MAGA hat, putting on bandanas that were red, white, and blue. And the actions of those who stormed the Capitol did not look like the actions of patriots. They looked like the actions of hoodlums, true hoodlums. They looked like the actions of Black Lives Matter and Antifa, truly. And what I'm evoking in this newer version of MAGA is, can we just become more gentle again? Can we become a little more possessed in our reactions? I mean, some of the videos again that I see online just show people going absolutely haywire because they didn't get mustard or their fries or ketchup or the extra Diet Coke. They just go nuts. People are road raging in unprecedented ways. You see just the reactions of people if they are, called a different pronoun. It's just shocking how we need to return to civility and gentleness again. I look at even the way we handle our food. People are just devouring the food. They need to be more gentle again with their eating abilities, their eating habits, that is. So let's make America good. Let's make America generous. Let's make America gentle. But above all, let's make America godly again. Just godly. Let's remember that we are one nation under God. And if we truly are one nation under God, here's what MAGA should really ultimately mean. And I know I'm going to trigger a bunch of pro-choicers, but here's what I want MAGA to mean. M, make A, abortion. G, go A, away. Make abortion go away. If we stop encouraging irresponsible sexual activity and reminding people of their responsibilities, abortion can actually go away. I don't know any animal in the animal kingdom that would like to try to end the life of the animal fetus in the womb. It's just not natural. It's the most unnatural thing. And where does that unnatural desire to kill an unborn child comes from? It comes from the devil. It comes from the evil one. So I would love to MAGA, make abortion go away. I really would. Because then if we have a respect for the dignity of life in the mother's womb, which is that same love and cherished sentiment that say, the royal family will have if the queen or the princess is with child, is pregnant. We get so excited about that. That's the kind of sentiment that MAGA should evoke, to make abortion go away. We don't need it. We certainly don't need to be spending billions of dollars to supporting an abortuary, factory of killing unborn children like Planned Parenthood. What a disgusting group not the people, what a disgusting principle that Planned Parenthood stands for. I know that there are a lot of people in Planned Parenthood who are probably just really clueless, bamboozled, or they're just doing a job. They're probably very good people, but they are doing evil work. So to them, MAGA, make abortion go away. So these are just my thoughts, especially as January the 6th is coming up. I know that this can be challenging to some people, but you know what? That's fine with me because we live in a country where we have free speech. And wearing a hat is part of it, in the same way of wearing a collar or wearing a crucifix. And whenever we realize that if something triggers us so much, it's because it's a strong brand. It's a strong brand. That's why people flock to brand names, because somehow it carries with it a deeper message. But for me, I would love to take the MAGA message and baptize it into grace so that we can say that we will ultimately need to make America good, make America gentle, make America generous, make America godly, and make abortions go away. Thank you for listening. I hope that this gives you something to think about and something to pray about, as some people are going to bemoan January the 6th as if it was like a September the 11th, which is just, for me, a sad, sad comparison. But also, we have to remember that we have a great responsibility to protect the ideals of America, because America is truly, and I've traveled the world, is a great nation that needs to renew its efforts so that we can become great again, but not according to a human, but to a divine person, Jesus, who says, if you want to be great, become a servant to all. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and also support us on our Patreon community, patreon.com/thefatherleo show, so that we can continue to dish out faith, culture, and commentary. God bless you, and stay hungry for God.